Welcome to the Holistic Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Keisha Blair, wife, mother of 3, author of Holistic Wealth, and founder of the Institute on Holistic Wealth. The show will showcase various experts in the key pillars of holistic wealth. Each week, we deliver the best information on how to become holistically wealthy and live your best life. Today, we have a very special episode. Today is launch day. Today is D-Day for the new Holistic Wealth Expanded and Updated 36 Life Lessons to help you recover from disruption, find your life purpose, and achieve financial freedom. So that book is now in stores, out and about, everywhere online, available for purchase. And you can get that book just about at any bookstore or any bookstore online, at your favorite bookstore, independent bookshop. And I'm so humbled and grateful for this journey that I have been on with you. I'm so humbled for everyone who has contributed to the community, to the podcast, to the book, to the Institute on Holistic Wealth, which was established because of that global holistic wealth movement that we started together from that book, from that first edition of the book in 2019. And I am so honored and grateful for each and every one of you who has really been a part of the community to push this holistic wealth message. And I want to start off this podcast episode with a small quote that I posted on the Holistic Wealth Podcast Instagram page. And I want to kickstart this episode with that because I just think we're at this moment in time where we all need this. So the quote says, "What if everything you're going through is preparing you for what you asked for?" And this morning, when I read that quote again, it blew my mind and I had tears in my eyes because I think it describes my journey. You know, when tragedy or life-altering setbacks strike and you think it's the beginning of the end for you, what if it's preparing you for your mission and your purpose, and one that's so much more impactful than anything you could have ever imagined? That's the point where a lot of us are today. We're thinking about how we turn this pandemic into a more authentic purpose and mission for ourselves and for our families, how we turn this pandemic into a positive and shape our post-pandemic lives. And this new and expanded edition of the book is the framework for just that. It is the framework. It is the art of recovery from disruption. It allows you to master that art. And it's exactly what we need right now. Is more than 6 million women just in the United States alone have walked away from their careers because of their pandemic, because they're juggling workplace demands, they're juggling childcare, they're juggling everything in between. There's the great resignation wave. We're all looking for that harmony and balance in our lives. And then when you look at things from a financial perspective, right? Like even when you look at the situation in Canada, roughly half of Canadians feel financially insecure as debt confidence hits a record low. Inflation is increasing, the price of gas, the price of food is increasing at the supermarket, and that is global as a result of geopolitical conflict, as a result of a number of confounding issues. And we're all at that place. We're wondering about the uncertainty. We're wondering about where we go from here. And there's so many things that we can do. This book contains so many tips and strategies, over 50 different tips, strategies, and case studies that we can use to help us through this time. Now, I just want to go quickly through the 6 different principles outlined in the book, because I also have a special announcement on this podcast today, which is exciting on this day, on this launch day of the new and expanded Holistic Wealth book. So I just want to go through the 6 principles with you again, because I think they're so important for the times we're living in. And I want to start with the law of purpose. Because I think a lot of us right now are seeking, a lot of people are seeking just that. Purpose in their lives, more purpose, more mission, more meaning in their lives. They want to refocus, reprioritize, and refresh, reinvent themselves. So the law of purpose, that law, and I've defined it in this book in terms of holistic wealth, as emphasizes that each of us has a unique purpose in life. To live holistically wealthy, it is necessary to seek out your own purpose and live it authentically. So that's the law of purpose, which is amazing. And there's another law that we need to hold on to during this pandemic that's also outlined and discussed throughout the book. That's the law of spiritual self-renewal. You know how I talked about geopolitical conflict, the economy, the state of that, the state of, we have another mental health crisis, another mental health pandemic. We have a racial crisis, a racism pandemic. We have different sub-pandemics going on at this time. And so this law of spiritual self-renewal is so important. And that law focuses on the power of prayer, mindfulness, meditation for mental renewal. This work enables us to transition from a state of scarcity and pessimism to one of gratitude and wholeness. And this law is so needed along with purpose, right? So that we can get through this period, craft a life that is so much more meaningful going forward. The law of abundance, as we talked about scarcity, and I referenced that word just a while ago as it has to do with the law of spiritual self-renewal. The law of abundance emphasizes that there are enough resources available for each of us to live an abundant and holistically wealthy life. We just need to learn to define abundance in a more holistic and creative way to fully enjoy it. And I know for some people listening, I know for a lot of people around the world, around the globe, things might not seem very abundant right now. But I think there are ways that we can express gratitude. There are ways that we can cling to our loved ones, cling to the life that we have so that we feel that abundance and joy. And there are 3 other principles that are weaved into the book. These are laws of holistic wealth that I want to bring forth. The law of natural harmony and balance is so important, especially during these times. This law highlights the importance of equilibrium in all aspects of our lives. So when we talk about that equilibrium, there are different ways we can get that, right? There's exercise for physical renewal, spending time in nature, eating well, nurturing relationships. Balance encourages us to attend to our priorities so that we don't neglect one area of our life in favor of another one. The law of continuous learning. And this is important. We're in an age of disruption where some industries are probably never going to come back the way they were. And so we need to refresh our skills, learn new ones, and just continue. Buying the book, listening to this podcast, that's part of the law of lifelong learning. And so that law encourages us to keep growing. Lifelong learning is an important asset in your holistic wealth bank account and includes activities such as community endeavors and mentorship as well. And so many young people are going to need mentorship during this time. And the last one is the law of reciprocity. It's about give and take in all aspects of our lives, from our personal finances to our relationships. When we enrich each other's lives, we enrich our own and we become more enriched. And the reason why I wanted to end the list of principles with that principle is because I have this amazing announcement to make on this podcast for the launch of the new Holistic Wealth Expanded and Updated book, which is now available today. Reciprocity in a time of disruption is extremely important. It's how we lift each other up. It's how we continue to advance our purpose and our mission. It's how we continue to drive humanity forward, even when we think it looks futile, even when the mountains seem too high to climb. There are ways that we can do this. And you know how in the book I talk about moral versus economic resources? Well, our moral resources are extremely important during this time. Our moral resources have a huge role to play in terms of how we master the art of disruption. So check that out in chapter 2 in the book, and you'll know more. And so what are moral resources? Moral resources are our relationships, our partnerships, our collaborations, how we work each other to build and lift each other up. And now you can see why it's so critically important, because no one can stand alone, right? And in terms of holistic wealth, in terms of this global movement that we have now, in terms of where we're at in history, we have a once in a lifetime moment to craft the society that we want, to craft the economy that we want. We have a once in a lifetime moment to change the things that we've always wanted to change systemic racism, to change systemic inequality, to change all the systemic injustices that we've seen throughout this pandemic. We have a once in a lifetime opportunity to craft the world we want our kids and grandkids to grow up in. And so I'm challenging us. I'm challenging everyone, including myself today, with this launch of this new and expanded version of the book. Let's craft that together. Let's craft that society, that economy that we want our kids to live in. Let's leave this earth in a better place than we found it. And so I'm just leading in to this exciting announcement today, which, you know, means the world to me in terms of the mission. And as many of you know, in 2009, my husband died. I was widowed, tragically, suddenly, just 8 weeks after I gave birth to my second child. He died of an illness so rare, most doctors will never see a living case of it in their lifetime, only in textbooks. And because of that experience, because of that tragedy, I've crafted this life forward. I've crafted this holistic wealth framework, one that I think the entire world can benefit from, one that I think we can all achieve together if we work together, if we do this together. And so this journey means so much to me. And the big announcement today that I have is that the Institute on Holistic Wealth is announcing a select group of female holistic wealth trailblazers who embody the holistic wealth lifestyle. And it's unbelievable that this new book, the Holistic Wealth Expanded and Updated book, is curated for the challenges of today's post-pandemic world. And now the Institute on Holistic Wealth is announcing a select group of female trailblazers to help advance the narrative and the mission and the story of how we craft that pandemic, that post-pandemic world. So I just want to tell you who those trailblazers are, share that with you. And it's unbelievable what we can do when we work together. So when I coined the term holistic wealth, I could have never known it would become one of the most important concepts in our lifetime, given the disruption that we've seen in the past 2 years. We're at an inflection point. We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to redefine how we measure wealth and success, as well as our concept of work-life balance. Women are truly reassessing what makes them happy and are taking this moment to make changes that will empower them to live and work on their own terms. The inaugural Holistic Wealth Trailblazers are Kelly Rutherford, actress, star of Gossip Girl, Melrose Place and Dynasty, founder of Sovereign Collective, and writer for the foreword for the new Holistic Wealth expanded and updated book. And if you're a Gossip Girl fan, then you'll be truly delighted with that announcement. Next is Lauren Ridinger. Lauren has been on this podcast. She's been a guest on this podcast, just like Kelly has been. She is the SEVP of Market America and Shop.com and founder of award-winning cosmetics line, Motives. Reshma Sojani. Reshma has been on this podcast just recently. She is the founder of Girls Who Code and the Marshall Plan for Moms and author of a new book, Pay Up. Eve Rodsky is a best-selling author of Find Your Unicorn Space and Fair Play. Eve has also been on this podcast and has an amazing episode like every single one of these holistic wealth trailblazers who have been on the podcast so far. Dr. Uche Blackstock, founder and CEO of Advancing Health Equity. Claire Shipman, journalist and best-selling author. Katty Kay, U.S. special correspondent for BBC Studios and best-selling author. Scarlett Lewis, founder of the Jessie Lewis Choose Love Movement, SEL advocate and author. Now, these women and luminaries, all of them, are just amazing. I'm delighted to have them on board as our inaugural set of Holistic Wealth Trailblazers. I'm so humbled. I'm humbled by their generosity of spirit. I'm humbled by their mission and purpose in life. I'm humbled by the way these women have fought for different injustices, for the way these women have fought for women's economic empowerment across the board in different ways on different issues in life. And it's amazing what we can all do together when we join in a movement and when we work hard and we really channel those moral resources that I spoke about before. So I hope you all get your copy of the book today. I hope you all help us spread the message. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell everyone, tell your family members about the Institute, about the book. Join the movement. Connect with me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on my website, or on the Institute on Holistic Wealth. Let's spread this global mission and movement, and let's do this for the next generation. There are so many issues at stake in this time. There's so many women out there. I think women have been so hard hit, and when life-altering setbacks come, women find it harder to bounce back. For Black and brown women, it's even worse. The statistics show that it's much harder for them to bounce back because of lower pay rates, because of lower opportunities, higher barriers, and systemic racism and systemic injustice. So as we go forward, it's important for us to continue the fight, continue the purpose and the mission with all women in mind, given our differences in terms of what we have access to, background, where we come from, because all of that plays a role in terms of what we're able to accomplish and achieve and what we're able to do in our own lives. And so I'm challenging every one of us today in this global movement, all of us, to play our part in advancing women's economic empowerment, in advancing the lives of women and children, and of course for men as well. So many people have been struck by grief in this pandemic. So many people need a positive message. So many people out there are just looking for a friend, looking for a good word, looking for that reciprocity. And as we go forward, thinking about the different laws of holistic wealth that I outlined at the beginning of this episode, keep them in mind as you go forward. Keep them in mind every day. If you have a copy of the Holistic Wealth Personal Workbook, write down your mission there, write down your purpose there, look at your values, and go through the new and expanded Holistic Wealth book. Go through that book with the personal workbook and write down your mission, write down your purpose and your values. Think about what you want your life to look like. think about your personal finances and how you can achieve financial well-being and achieve financial wellness. Those are the critical building blocks, along with spiritual self-renewal. Those are the critical building blocks for us moving forward. And I know in the past I've talked a lot about financial resilience, and that's how we bounce back financially after life-altering setbacks. And that's a critical theme that should be embedded in our post-pandemic lives. There's an extra chapter on that in the new book. And that's why I want everyone to get this new book. Reach out to me. Tell me what you think. If you like it, feel free to leave a review on Amazon, on Goodreads. Connect with us at the Institute on Holistic Wealth. We're here for you. We're here to provide you with the framework and tools that you need to live a holistically wealthy lifestyle. So reach out to me, grab the book, let me know what you think, and spread the message as far and wide as you can. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you for joining us this week on Holistic Wealth with Keisha Blair. Make sure to visit our website, KeishaBlair.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, or via RSS, so you will never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Are you a member of the Institute on Holistic Wealth? If not, what are you waiting for? Go to Institute on Holistic Wealth /memberships to choose your membership plan and join. As a member, you get so many perks. Free worksheets, advice, coaching, and a member's workshop to design an intentionally designed life. You need to figure out your life purpose? Take the Build Your Life Purpose Portfolio online self-paced course. You're struggling with all your money decisions? Take the free financial identities quiz and then take the course. You recently had a breakup, job loss, or experienced the death of a loved one? Take the Holistic Healing course. You need an overall plan to achieve holistic wealth? We will help you figure out your holistic wealth blueprint. And of course, if you want to start making money by helping others achieve holistic wealth, become a certified holistic wealth consultant. Regardless of what career you've got, the Institute will show you how to increase your income and walk in your purpose. The sooner you join, the sooner you start to achieve a more holistically wealthy lifestyle. And you're going to want to stay for a very long time. So go to Institute on Holistic Wealth /memberships to join. If you haven't read the book yet, pick up a copy of the award-winning, best-selling Holistic Wealth 32 Life Lessons to help you find purpose, prosperity, and happiness.